welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm giving a much needed update to one of the most popular bases on my channel. Introducing the Javelin 2.0. A small group base that includes all the modern features for active players who value quality of life and defense capabilities. This version drastically enhances the external defenses thanks to a 360-degree wide gap shooting floor. The roof also got a major upgrade to help repel top-downs and fight players on the surrounding terrain. 2 mobility towers ensure you'll be able to quickly traverse around the base even if the core is compromised. And of course, redundant respawn points inside and outside will guarantee continued resistance. In addition to expanded defenses, this iteration also gives a spacious, yet well-protected open core to keep your loot in, and an improved internal layout to increase the efficiency of storage and deployables. The base comes from a 1x2 starter and has a realistic progression path as you get richer. While this iteration comes with an increase in build cost and upkeep, its modernized features are well worth it considering the drastic boost in defense, storage, and protection. Speaking of which, these are the approximate raid costs for raiders to reach one of the listed goals. Before we jump into the tour, I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video. Special thanks to Rustenico for sponsoring this video. Rustenico is an artist who makes beautiful artwork from video games like Rust, CSGO, and Escape from Tarkov. He has high quality prints and also does original commissions where he hand paints stunning scenes. I had him make the artwork for my Deathmatch project and the end result was out of this world. I already owned one of his prints prior to the sponsorship just because of how beautiful and high quality his artwork is. The amount of detail he includes is breathtaking, so if you're in the market for some game related artwork, please check him out via the top link in the description. With that being said, let's get back to the video. Approaching the compound, we see one of the 2 roof disconnectable external TCs connected to a basic gatehouse. The gatehouse provides ample vision to check for players on both sides of the wall. Entering into the compound, you'll notice the external peekdown defenses and overlapping auto turret coverage. Heading into the base through one of the 2 identical entrances, you can fully traverse the corridor underneath the inner peekdowns. Going the other way, we'll pass a mobility jump-up tower, which we'll come back to in a minute. On this side is our core entrance, which is accessible from both sides. The second floor provides ample storage during the starting stages and acts as overflow storage later on in the wipe. Heading into the 1x2 starter, we'll find a respawn point, secure storage, and the main TC. The third floor houses a respawn bedroom for the inner peekdowns. This ladder hatch provides quick access to the open core. The access chutes lets you get to the ground floor quickly. Inner peaks provide ample angles to repel raiders. This area is also protected by auto turrets to slow down attackers from gaining control of your defenses. Here's that previously mentioned ladder hatch at the bottom of the mobility tower. This peak gives a situational angle to retake this area. 2 more bedroom respawn points oppose each other. The open core is very spacious and has lots of room for storage and turrets. To access the 2 high-quality metal roof bunkers, simply place a twig triangle roof below, like so. Inside each is enough room for 5 large boxes for your best loot, and a large battery for critical electrical circuitry. Heading into the 360-degree shooting floor, you'll notice the wide gap peekdowns provide defenders with lots of angles to repel players from. Each section can also be strategically closed off if it becomes compromised. On both ends is an ankle biter roof peak. Finally, heading up the mobility tower brings us up to the last ankle biter peaks and roof exits. The top of the tower gives line of sight to players just outside the compound. Standard roofs provide additional angles with temporary exposure. With the tour out of the way, let's jump into the build. To get started, you'll want to build a standard 1x2 starter on a relatively large and flat area. Feel free to customize this however you see fit. Once you're ready to expand, build your jump up to the second floor. Use a furnace in the corner to boost yourself up. On the opposite side, we'll establish our new entrance. Once again, use another furnace in the corner. Next, seal in the second floor. Window frames go on the sides with wooden window bars. Eventually these will become loot rooms, but for now they can be used as early game defenses until you get reinforced glass. Outfit this area with overflow deployables or storage. Just remember that this area isn't super secure because of the window bars, so don't keep anything high value in here for too long. When sealing the roof, leave the triangle floor above the second furnace jump up wood. Now would also be a good time to upgrade the back half of the 1x2 core. Whenever you get a tier 2 workbench, start swapping out garage doors from the core outward. With a garage door here, you can use 2 more furnaces in this space. Section off the second floor like so. Replace the wooden window bars with reinforced glass, or progress to the next stage as soon as possible. In the corners, build a half-height shelf. Then, establish them as loot rooms. Next, we'll establish our multi-TC sections on both sides, but one at a time. To build the wall stack, start by placing 7 squares, followed by a triangle. Remove the squares and build back with 3 half moons and some triangles. Remove the build out, build 5 squares, followed by a half moon, then a hex. From there, remove the half moon and replace the first square with a triangle. At the base end, place these side foundations as you won't be able to place them easily later. Lastly, remove these 3 squares and follow this build order closely to build the foundations for the future widegaps. This placement order is critical to get the intended result. Once you're positive the placement is correct, upgrade the foundations and establish your external TC that will upkeep this section. Today, I'll be using my 2.0 version of the Hexapod I recently made a build video on. Of course, if you don't like my choices, you can always hot swap whatever design you prefer. Whatever you decide, next we'll connect everything up to make sure it doesn't decay until we have the resources for these future stages. Follow this build order closely to connect the half-height frames through the double door frame. Remember that you must build the connection in this order in order to put the frame through the other one. At the base end, we'll build a floating loot room and connect the final stray foundations. Upgrade the floors to sheet metal to discourage players from soft siding into the loot room. Finally, close off this loot room with walls and build a half-height shelf. Place the boxes as far back as you can to prevent players from looting them through the multi-TC cracks. Because of the soft side vulnerability and potential for spear attacks through the multi-TC gaps, avoid keeping high-value items in here for the next couple of stages. Next, we'll build the shell of the inner peekdown corridor and establish the entrances. Place double door frames on the edges to cover the multi-TC gaps with wall conditionals. Lastly, secure the entrances. Leave the leftmost triangle floor wood. In order for us to establish the compound, we'll need to build the last wide gap extensions off of the corridor shell. From the outermost side triangle, closely follow this build order to properly space the foundations and establish the connection. Next, outfit each gatehouse with window and double door frames. To establish the high walls, start by placing one at the halfway point in the window frame. For the next one, place it about 30 degrees, making sure to frequently gauge the remaining distance by using Alt-Look. At the middle sections, line yourself up like so. Walk forward a bit with the wall in hand and guesstimate the placement. Repeat these steps until the compound is fully enclosed. Above each gatehouse, use a single metal barricade. Use a random electrical deployable to block the socket on top of the wall. This will prevent players from building twig to easily grub into your compound. For the side sections, use a twig floor to place the barricade on top of the wall. You should also use a socket blocker here. In the compound, place furnaces into the recessed spaces. With the furnaces turning out metal frags, upgrade the main core of the base. As always, start from the core and work your way outward, upgrading double doors to garage doors as you acquire the gears for them. For the simplicity of the video, from here on, everything will be built in its final build grade, besides the occasional HQM upgrade. Some of the already built things will be upgraded later, like how you would during an actual wipe. Be sure to also upgrade the roof. Next, we'll build the inner peekdowns and third floor bedroom. Start by soft siding the jump up axis and build the roof. In the triangles, place a locker and small box. Then, place your beds in front of it. When closing the roof, be sure to leave the triangle floor opposite of the first jump up wood. Once you're ready to establish the inner peekdowns, soft side the wooden floors above the corridor. Start by building 2 floating double door frames outside of each door. Then, build the inner peaks and enclose the floor. Place double door frames in these spots to improve stability or cover gaps. In between the inner peaks, use siren lights to prevent falling through. Make sure to place these so they're connected to the very bottom of the sheet metal wall. Occupy these door frames as shown. Use horizontal embrasures on the window frames. When sealing the roof, make sure you are placing the floors so the gaps create this pattern. This placement is extremely important to ensure that the roof bunkers are built properly. Next, we'll establish the mobility jump ups. To place a ladder hatch here, you'll have to temporarily pick up this box. Build a half-height shelf followed by 2 garage doors. Then, upgrade these floors and walls. Soft side the wooden floor and enclose the access to the inner peaks. With the mobility elevators upgraded, now would be a good time to upgrade the connection point to its final build grade. For the simplicity of the video, I'll be upgrading all the way to the external TC. To equalize the raid cost, you should also build these honeycomb sections. Inside the corridor, finalize these upgrades. Next up is the open core expansion. Start by soft siding the wooden floor and place a ladder hatch. Closely follow the build order to establish the bunkers and loot rooms properly. Especially for the bunkers, make sure the double door frames are rotated properly so that they are activating the wall's conditional edge. Place garage doors where shown in these orientations. Furnish the open core as you see fit. On the side jump ups, replace the double doors with the garage doors. To open the bunkers, place a twig triangle roof from below. In the bunkers, place a salvage shelf as far left and back as you can. You can fit 5 large boxes and a large battery for critical electrical circuitry. In the corner triangles, put whatever deployables you want. I like to keep a fridge in one and a large battery in the other for my non-critical electrical circuitry. Tier 3 goes against this bunker wall. Place the bedroom respawns in these spaces. Once you're ready to seal the roof, place all the floors off of the main TC section so that there are only visible gaps along the edges. It's extremely important to have these in the correct locations, otherwise the bunkers won't work. Before you upgrade the roof, confirm you can still open the bunkers. To block players from looting boxes through the multi-TC gaps on top of the base, build low walls in these spots. Upgrade the bunker floors, walls, and frames once you get the HQM for it. Again, make sure these conditional edges are present. Don't forget to upgrade the low wall above the bunker too. Next, we'll build the wide gap peekdowns and shooting floor. Start by extending the double door frame curtain up to the shooting floor level. Upgrade these foundations and frames on the side wide gaps. Build the shooting floor as shown. Use a siren light at half height to provide access to the ankle biter roof peak. Equip the shooting floor windows with horizontal embrasures. Use double doors on the triangle sections so you can section off each wide gap should it become compromised. For the last of the battlements, we'll establish the roof defenses. Replace the jump up door with a garage door and build your roof access. To improve the window's line of sight, use a stone barricade in this empty space above the ankle biter roof peak. Behind each low wall, make a half-height compartment. Stagger square roofs like shown. To finish up the build 2 windmill towers on top of the base. The 2 most critical auto turret batteries and circuitry should go in the open core bunkers. As for turret locations, use 4 in the compound, 1 in each of the corridors, 2 in the inner peaks, 4 in the open core, 4 in the shooting floor, and 4 on the roof. In the description, there's a blueprint that shows how to wire a basic 9-turret electrical system. To place the roof ones, stand on a small box in front of the low wall and move your mouse around until you see the arrow turn blue. And with that, the base is complete. While this iteration is certainly nothing revolutionary, its features and defenses easily justify its upkeep and is definitely above average when compared to most 1x2 designs. I sought out to remedy an outdated design, and I have no doubt this modernized version will help you pierce the competition. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Consider subscribing for future content, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.